Hey, welcome back to another episode of Simple Truth Television. Today is August 11th, 2022. And I haven't done a live stream in a long time, so I decided to cover the Field of Dreams game that just ended. The Cubs just gave the Cincinnati Reds their 67th loss of the season today, 77 days after the death of Ray Liotta. So we're going to discuss what a perfect ritual this game was. And we're also going to look back at last year's Field of Dreams game when the Yankees played the Chicago White Sox. This was the first ever Field of Dreams game. Today was the second annual. And we're going to show you guys how both games, the last year's game and this year and today's game, were both tributes to Shoeless Joe Jackson, legendary White Sox player who was found guilty of what they call the Black Sox scandal. It was a conspiracy back in the day that they claim the White Sox were rigging the World Series, like if the World Series wasn't rigged already. So let me just make sure that the audio is good, and then we can just get right to the decode. So if anybody can just give me the okay in the chat, we can get started. I just want to say congratulations to the Patreons today. This was easy. This was an easy call. I also took a look at the Giants, who opened up as 2.5-point favorites over the Patriots. Giants is 25, big number with them. So I just noticed that they just won. Thanks a lot, Eric. Okay, so last year the Yankees played the White Sox, and this game was played on. Actually, tomorrow will be the 1-year anniversary since this game. And if you guys didn't know, the Field of Dreams game is a tribute to the film Field of Dreams that came out on April 21st, 1989, featuring the actor Kevin Costner and Ray Liotta. Ray Liotta played Shoeless Joe Jackson in that film, and Kevin Costner was the farmer who kept hearing voices in the field saying to build a stadium. And, every time we would go out to his farm, he would hear these voices. If you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come. And supposed to be those were the voices of Shooter Joe Jackson. And then he decided to go out there in the field. And then I guess, if I remember correctly, because I haven't seen this movie in a while, he actually met Shooter Joe Jackson. And he decided to build a field. And then all these spirits from a long time ago came back and played that game over. That legendary Black Sox scandal game. The World Series where the Reds played the White Sox back in 1919. And let me see. So the film came out on a day with 133 numerology. Came out on April 21st, 1989. And notice in gematria, Chicago Black Sox equals 133. The film came out on 133 daily numerology. And that movie was all about the Chicago Black Sox. That was the team that Shoeless Joe Jackson played for. And Shoeless Joe Jackson, if you notice, he was born on July 16th, 1888. And the film, actually, the first Field of Dreams game, which was last year on August 12th, it was exactly 133 years after his date of birth, after his birthday. So Shoeless Joe Jackson would have been 133 years old when the first Field of Dreams game was played last year. And it was also 27 days after his birthday. Of course, that's a big baseball number, right? Baseball equals 27. Last year, the Field of Dreams game was played on the day leaving 141 days in a year. Black Sox scandal equals 141 using the alphabetic order. If you include the rules of numerology, Black Sox scandal equals 42, like how today's score was 4-2. The Reds and Cubs game. But this is why the game was played on August 12th. That's the day leaving 141 days in a year. Today leaves 142 days in a year, and Cincinnati Reds equals 142. Cincinnati Reds was a big part of that big ritual back in 1919 because, like I said, the World Series that year was the Chicago Black Sox versus the Cincinnati Reds. And notice the name of the film, Field of Dreams, equals 67 and 72, just like the phrase, if you build it, which is something that you saw all throughout the game today. If you watched the game, they have big signs all over the stadium says, if you build it. That was the phrase that Kevin Costner kept hearing it coming out of the cornfield. And notice in Gematria, Field of Dreams is 117 and 63. Last year, that was the year of the 117th World Series. So that's why last year, the first Field of Dreams game was played. That's why, they could have did the Field of Dreams game this year for the first time or the year prior to that. But they chose last year, 2021, because that was the year of the 117th World Series. And if I remember correctly, the actor, I forgot his name, Art. Let me see if it comes up. Art LaFleur. He passed away right after the World Series ended on November 17th. The Atlanta Braves won the World Series on November 2nd. I remember it was 215 days after opening day. Last year, the season began on April 1st. And then 215 days later, the Atlanta Braves won the World Series. And in Gematria, Atlanta Braves is 215. Notice from November 2nd to November 17th, the day that this actor died. This actor was also in the film Field of Dreams, by the way. From the day that the Atlanta Braves won the World Series to his death is 15 days. And he died at the age of 69. And when you write out Atlanta, it equals 69 and 15. So he was a big tribute to last year's World Series. Again, the Braves won the World Series last year. The actor died at the age of 69, 15 days after the 117th World Series. And again, Field of Dreams is 117. And there's also 63 like Major League Baseball. So let me see if I remember this correctly. So I wrote here, if you saw tonight's game, the Yankees right fielder Aaron Judge hit a home run on the 63rd pitch thrown by Lance Lynn. And today was 108 days since Aaron Judge's birthday. Look at that. Perfect. So they did a perfect tribute to Major League during the game. So Aaron Judge, he made the score 3-1 on the 63rd pitch. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me zoom in. It was the 63rd pitch. We just saw how Field of Dreams is 63. Like Major League Baseball, like Major League. And this game was played 108 days after Aaron Judge's birthday. See? So everything that happens during the game, the final score, everything is a tribute and is all a numerical ritual. I mean, what are the odds of that? Field of Dreams game. Guy hits a home run on the 63rd pitch of the game. The Yankees ended up losing that game, though, to the White Sox in the bottom of the ninth. And it makes sense, right? Shoeless Joe Jackson played for the White Sox. Why would the first Field of Dreams game be lost by the White Sox? Doesn't make any sense, right? But notice the score ended 8-9 or 9-8. Either way, you can read it. And in Gematria, Kevin Michael Costner equals 89. That is the main character of Field of Dreams. And last year's game, notice he was born on... Is he 67 years old right now? Oh, my gosh. But last year, he was born on January 18th, 1955. And last year's game was played 206 days after his birthday. And notice his full name, Kevin Michael Costner, is 206 and 89. All right, the game was played. I don't know what's wrong with me today. The game was played 206 days after his birthday. His full name is 206, and the score ended 8-9. Right, so those are the values of his name with the alphabetical order and the alphabetical order with rules of numerology. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this guy is 67 this year, or right now. He is. He's 67 years old. Look at that. Oh my God, this stuff is just unbelievable. Because today's game was a big 67 ritual. The Reds picked up their 67th win. Of course, Ray Liotta just died 77 days ago at the age of 67. That's the 19th prime number. Of course, the Black Sox scandal happened in the year 1919. The name Ray was 19. We'll get into that, but so they had a perfect ritual with Kevin Costner last year, right? Score 206 days after his birthday, ended up 8-9. The values of his name. Of course, the name Kevin Costner is also 56, like Society of Jesus. So that was last year, right? So look at this year. This year, I think we need to first cover the death of Ray Liotta, because he was the second main character in that film. So if you didn't see the video that I did on Ray Liotta, he died at the age of 67 in the Dominican Republic. They're saying that he just went to sleep and then they found him dead. I don't know if they changed, his cause of death, but look, notice what it says here. Deadline here is that Liotta died in his sleep in the Dominican Republic, where he was shooting the film Dangerous Waters. We will have more details when they become available. So he went to sleep, didn't wake up at the age of 67. But one of the things we covered when he died was that his name equals 121, and he died at the age of 67, which are the blood sacrifice numbers, right? Of course, human sacrifice also has values of 67. I looked on Wikipedia, and because I was looking up his date of birth, and you guys notice how it says here that, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but this is according to Wikipedia. It says here that he was born at 6:07 a.m. The guy who died at 67. So, and again, the name Ray is 19. I mean, 67 is the 19th prime number. But Ray, he ended up dying 206 days after his birthday. He was born December 18th. And he died 206 days before his birthday. Excuse me. I think I need some water. He died on May 26, 2022. And from his death to his upcoming birthday would have been 200. He died 206 days before. Of course, sacrifice is 206. And we also pointed out how, because if you read the headline, they mentioned two films, right? It says here that Ray Liotta dies, Goodfellas star, and Phil the. Oh my God. I'm so sorry about that. Drink some water. If you read what it says in the headline, right? They mentioned two films because the guy had a lot of films, but they only brought up Goodfellas and Field of Dreams. And the reason why they did that is because his death is mostly connected to those two films. Let's talk about Goodfellas for a second. So Goodfellas came out on September 19th, 1990, 275 days after his birthday, and his full name is 275. And in that movie, he was remembered for playing Henry Hill, and you can say the main character of that film is Robert De Niro. And Robert De Niro is turning 79 years old on August 17th of this year. From the death of Ray Liotta to Robert De Niro's upcoming birthday, his 79th birthday, Ray Liotta ended up dying 83 days before. And in gematria, murder equals 79 and 83. He died 83 days before Robert De Niro's 79th birthday. And in the movie, Robert De Niro played the character Jimmy Conway, which equals 146. Ray Liotta ended up dying on the 146th day of the year. Like how the film Goodfellas runs for 146 minutes. And notice Jimmy Conway is just like Jesus Christ. And these are the Society of Jesus rituals. So, of course, they're going to have the name that syncs up with the Jesus numbers. But notice here it says that Goodfellas, it runs for 146 minutes. Henry Hill dead on the 146th day of the year in connection to Robert De Niro, who played Jimmy Conway, a name that equals 146, just like Jesus Christ, right? Now, they also mentioned Field of Dreams. And like I said in the beginning, Ray Liotta played Shoeless Joe Jackson. And notice the data. This is like I don't understand how people are not even realizing this stuff. Like, you don't even need gematria. But look at this. On May 26th, this was the day that Ray Liotta passed away. Look at the two teams that were playing each other that day. The Cubs were playing the Reds. The same two teams that were scheduled for today's Field of Dreams game. I mean, but just that by itself. Like, you don't need no numbers. You don't need to know why the score was 20-5. You don't need anything else. But what are the odds that those two teams are playing each other the day that Ray Liotta died, the guy who was in Field of Dreams, and then the upcoming Field of Dreams game has those same two teams scheduled to play each other? I mean, what are the odds of that? But the real reason the score ended 20-5 is because in gematria, Shoeless Joe Jackson equals 205. Just like how today's game was 205 days after Kevin Costner's birthday. Remember last year it was 206 because it was played on August 12th, right? Michael Costner's 206. And now that I think about it, Ray Liotta just died 206 days from before his birthday, which that's probably why they sacrificed him 206 days before his birthday, because Kevin Michael Costner is 206. But today's game was played, and again, I'm just noticing this right now. The guy's 67 years old. Today's game was 205 days after Kevin Costner's birthday. That's why the score was 20-5 the day that Ray Liotta passed away, with those two teams, because those were the two teams that were scheduled to play today on the second Field of Dreams game. It's just, what are the odds? And then that's like a very rare score in baseball, 20-5, and that's a lot of runs. But this is all ritual. These games are all rigged and scripted. You learn this code, you're gonna see right through it. And even to be honest, you don't need the code, but if you want facts, then of course you're gonna put the code in there. But certain things you should just see as abnormal. Like, there's no way this guy dies on the day that these two teams are playing each other, and people don't find that strange. Just like how people don't find strange that Kobe Bryant died a day after LeBron James surpassed him on the all-time scoring list in Philadelphia. I mean, there's no gematria involved in that. That's just a very strange synchronicity. LeBron surpasses him on the scoring list, and the guy dies. What are the odds? Strange. Today was 77 days after the death of Ray Liotta. This was a huge clue for us. Notice the starting pitcher for the Chicago Cubs is a man named Todd Andrew Smiley. I don't know how you say his surname, but Todd Andrew Smiley or Smiley. His name has the gematria of 67, and that matters because today, if you notice up here, the Reds picked up their 67th loss of the season. Right? The Cubs had the perfect pitcher on the mound, right, to give them the 67th loss. Notice his name is also 77, like I was 77 days after the death of Ray Liotta. And today was also 331 days after David Bell's birthday. That is the manager of the Cincinnati Reds. Notice he was born September 14th, and today was 331 days after his birthday, the 67th prime number. And notice Joseph Jefferson Warford Jackson equals 331. That is Shoeless Joe Jackson's full name, by the way. He was born Joseph Jefferson Warford Jackson. His name is 331, the 67th prime number. And today was 331 days after David Bell's birthday. The manager of the Cincinnati Reds, the 67th prime number. His team ends up picking up the 67th loss, while Kevin Costner is 67, while Ray Liotta died at the age of 67. And again, that is the 19th prime number. And this goes back to the World Series that took place in the year 1919, where the White Sox played the Cincinnati Reds, where the whole Black Sox scandal happened. But notice the final score was 4-2. When you write out Shoeless Joe equals 42, Black Sox scandal equals 42. The actor Art LaFleur, who passed away last year, his name is also 42, by the way. So it's possible that the 42 was also paying tribute to this man as well. He has a 42 in his name as well. So again, perfect ritual, and this is how you can make money off this information. A lot of people like to dismiss this stuff as coincidence, but there's no way. Let me show you guys something. Look. Look. Let me just show you this. This is my Patreon, by the way. So look. So again, today, this is August 11th. We had the Cubs. You can verify this, because all this stuff, I don't delete anything on my Patreon. But look, on August 10th, we had the Seattle Mariners. You can verify it to see if they won or not on your own. August 10th, we had the Mariners to beat the Yankees. We had the Seattle Mariners to beat the Yankees again on August 9th. On August 8th, we had the Yankees to beat the Mariners. Right? On August 7th, we had the Dodgers sweeping the Padres. There it is, down here. Los Angeles Dodgers to win. I mean, that is. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 straight hits. The only reason I'm able to do this is because the games are rigged and scripted, and I understand how they're rigging the games. And for another 19, these were my Patreon notes. I wrote here that Chicago Cubs can pick up their 46th win of the season, and the Cincinnati Reds can pick up their 67th loss. Reds equals 46 and 19. And then and the starting pitcher for the Cubs, his nickname is Big Shooter, which equals 118. I got a date, August 11th is written in the majority of the world. 11/8. Big Shooter got the win for the Cubs today. But this was the big key right here. 331 days after David Bell's birthday, the 67th prime number, team win for the 67th loss. Ray Liotta dead at 67. Kevin Costner 67 years old right now. Yeah, but the only way I'm able to do this stuff, you guys, is because the games are rigged. I'm going on these 5 games winning streak. Because before I knew this knowledge, I was not hitting 5 days in a row. Hell no. I was hitting one game probably a month, and that was if I was lucky. I was going broke before I knew this knowledge, and now I'm going on crazy streaks like this. But look at this. It says here that it was the 1919 contest between the Chicago White Sox and the Cincinnati Reds. It was the one that saw 8 players ultimately and unjustly banned from baseball for life. And of course, Shoeless Joe Jackson was one of them. It was the one that made Shoeless Joe Jackson into a scapegoat, victim, and story that just won't go away. On July, then it goes into his history. But again, 1919, today was a big 67 ritual, the 19th prime number. And you know the sad part about all this? Every year that the Field of Dreams game is approaching, we're going to see people die from that film. So sooner or later, it's going to be Kevin Costner. I won't be surprised if it's next year. The guy is 67 years old. The blood sacrifice number. But let me just see something. Let me just look up the cast members. Because that's the other sick part about all this, is that people die. I mean, the rigging, it is kind of sick because people do lose a lot of money. But all these people here, every year they're probably going to take 1 or 2 of these characters. James Earl Jones, how old is this man? 91? 91, pretty old. Yeah, but all these people will be dropping dead soon. They took out Art LaFleur last year. Art LaFleur was last year's sacrifice. This year was Ray Liotta. Next year will be another one. Oh, that's funny. Kevin Costner played the character Ray. Yeah, Ray equals 19. So, yeah, all these characters, one by one, are going to be dropping dead in connection to the Field of Dreams game. Ed Harris, I like him as an actor. 71 years old. I worry about James Earl Jones. He's an older guy right here. Just take a look at his gematria. He has that 63 in his name. Yep. But that's the sick part about all this. All these celebrities are going to be dropping dead in connection to these films. But what I'm noticing is that a lot of these people were born into this. I mean, what are the odds that Ray Liotta was born at 6:07 a.m.? I don't think that's an accident. I think that was planned from the second this man was born. They already knew that he was going to die at the age of 67 in connection to the Field of Dreams game. As sick as that sounds, that's what it seems to be to me. There's no way that's a coincidence. But yeah. I think we covered it all. Let me see. So yeah, let me show you guys something else. I think before we end it, let me just show you guys my FanDuel. Show you guys that I also bet on my own picks. If the games were, like I said, if the games weren't rigged, I'll be having a hard time solving these games. Look at it right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. $150 wager turned into $294. Took the Cubs over the Reds in a big 67 ritual. Made $150 without having to do much. Well, I did a lot. The research is work, but it didn't take me that long though. A lot of people have to do a lot more for $150. Like clean bathrooms and stuff like that. Oh, for one more 77, his surname Liotta has Gematria of 77 as well. I think we covered a lot though. I mean, if you made it to the end of the video and you still don't understand how these games are scripted, then I don't know what to tell you. You made it all the way to this point and you still think the games are not rigged. You still think every player is not in on it. You still think that there's no way man can do this. You still think that we live in a simulation. like you gotta wake up. It's just those of you who call my show. I mean, that's one of the reasons I don't take live. Like I stopped taking phone calls is because a lot of the phone calls that I get make me angry. They make me upset, and I don't like looking upset on camera. People call on my show like, "Hey, Simple Truth, there's no way all these players know their games are rigged." Like, oh my gosh, that shit makes my blood boil. That makes my blood boil. How do you explain that in baseball? There's 9 players batting up, right? So you're saying that all 9 don't know the games are rigged? So how are they ending up with the score 20-5? So the guy is just hitting home runs, but accidentally it's just the way the world works. It's just the way the planets were aligned that day, right? Really? On May 26th, the score is 20-5 in a Shoeless Joe Jackson tribute. The day that Ray Liotta dies, the actor that played Shoeless Joe Jackson in Field of Dreams. You saying that all this is a coincidence? That every player wasn't in on the script? Like, oh my God, every time I hear that, oh my gosh. Like it's a coincidence that today's game was 205 days after Kevin Costner's birthday, right? Kevin Costner has no idea what's going on. I notice his birthday is written 118, like how today is 118. Speaking of 118, I wanted to make a separate video on the death of Robin Williams, who passed away today in history. But I'm not going to make a video. If you guys want to look at the notes on my blog, you can feel free. It's up there. But just real quick, Robin Williams supposedly committed suicide today in history at the age of 63, by the way. Big baseball number. But notice the name Williams is 118. He died on 11/8, right? Death is 118. Homicide is 118. But this is what I want to talk about here. Look, this was years after his death. They named this tunnel Robin Williams Tunnel. It says here that is north of the Golden Gate Bridge. And notice what Robin Williams Tunnel equals. 118, like how he died on 11/8. All these actors, all being ritualistically sacrificed. Oh, it was actually 81 weeks after his death because ritual was 81. He also, and then look at this. Then that same year, I think, well, actually a few days, 14 days after his death, on August 25th, he was honored at the 66th Primetime Emmy Awards, which took place on August 25th. A day you write out 25/8 like 258. And notice number of the beast is 258. And it was the 66th Primetime Emmy Awards. Number of the beast is 66 and 258. Just like Robin Williams is 66. But the actor Billy Crystal gave out a tribute to Robin Williams that day. And notice Robin Williams ended up dying 150 days after Billy Crystal's birthday, and Illuminati's 150. Stuff is really sick what they doing. Very satanic. You know, blaming this man's death on a suicide when they know what really happened to this man. I mean, you guys don't think there's a problem with that? And then taking a tunnel and naming it after him and making sure that the numbers line up with the day that he died is just, it's very sick what they doing. You know, Arthur Fleur dying 15 days after the Braves win the World Series at the age of 69. Maybe you guys don't find this disturbing, but you know, this is definitely disturbing. Because something I always talk about in my videos is like, you don't have to be a celebrity to be a victim of the Jesuit order. These people don't care. You know, a lot of people died from coronavirus who were not celebrities. But I think we can end it there. More proof that every player is not in on the script. Oh my gosh. You guys keep believing whatever you want. I'm going to keep making money at FanDuel. Thank you, FanDuel, for another $150. It's the 5th day in a row. You do the math. Picked up their 67th loss. You guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and thank you for watching.